wanted to show you all the inside of this machine. And then I'm gonna turn on the cold water and hot water. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Today I'm here at my car wash. Where back behind me in this corner used to be a big old monster water heater that was connected to this pipe right here. It was a 100-gallon commercial unit, which is pretty dang big considering most of your residential homes have like a 40 or 50-gallon unit in them. The wild part is that water heater was in this car wash abandoned for 10, maybe even 15 years before I came along and hooked it up, and it actually worked. So I used it for the last 3 years until it finally gave up the ghost. When it started leaking a little while ago, I called up a scrap metal guy and he hauled it off, and I got one of these tankless water heaters on order coming. So that's what we're gonna be installing today, is a tankless water heater right on the wall back there behind there. It's gonna take up a much smaller footprint. But what's gonna be interesting to see is if it can keep up in this commercial application. I'm gonna turn on all my car wash, all my pumps, I'm gonna max it out, and we're gonna see if it can keep up. If it doesn't, I have a contingency plan. So let's get into this install and see what it's like. Now, the unit that I picked up for this installation is made by Navien. It's the NPE-240A2. It's an advanced model, basically the biggest unit that they make as well. It can be used for residential or commercial purposes. The warranty just changes a little bit depending on the use. But the main reason I went with this unit is because it has an onboard recirculation pump as well as a 1-gallon buffer tank, just for those instances where we're getting max usage. We got that little bit of a buffer out of it. But from what I've read online, this is an excellent model to go with. And so we're gonna get it unboxed and get it up on the wall. With this unit, I also picked up the Navien isolation valves. You definitely want to put isolation valves on these because it's part of their maintenance that at least annually you flush them out, and it's very difficult to do if you don't have these on there. So this kit comes with 3 valves, one for hot, one for cold, one for the recirculation. I'm not going to be installing recirculation today. At a later date, I'm going to be putting in a dog wash at the end of our building, and I'm going to be recirculating water from there. So I'm going to hang on to it for later. Today I'll just be doing the hot and the cold, and the kit also comes with a pressure relief valve, and so we'll be throwing that in there. I've seen a lot of different ways to mount these tankless water heaters. What this unit comes with is this little wall bracket that has these hooks on either side, and then you just hang it up like a picture or something. But rather than mounting that directly to the wall, I'm gonna put up a piece of unistrut and then mount the bracket to that so that the water heater sits off the wall about an inch and a half or so. Okay, this thing is solid. Now, a couple notes on my install. I have these square magnetic washers for unistrut that I've put behind each one of these bolts to give it a flush surface to mount to. And then there's lock washers as well as thread locker on everything, because there is vibration in this as it runs with the plumbing and the heat exchangers and the pumps and all that. Then off camera, I went and redid a bunch of my pecs, and I found these really cool brackets like these on Amazon. So I'll put a link in the description of the video below. But this is just the pathway the water takes before it runs up there and goes to my RO system. And then it comes over here, and then that's the cold water that jumps over to my pump stand, right? And then it continues onward over here to where I'm gonna be tying it into the Navien. And I've created a bypass right here. So right now I have it bypassed, but on the backside here, I put 3/4 valve there, and I put a 3/4 valve right there. So that in the off position, those two valves, I can just run water straight through. But as soon as I get this plumbed in, I'll turn off this valve, turn on the other two valves, and we'll run hot water through this thing. So then the other thing we did was, I had my HVAC buddy help me out by drilling this out and putting in the flue to the exterior, and then we roughed in the gas line. So I've just got to finish that up, tie it into the sediment trap that I've installed here, and then put in the condensation line back there. So I'm just gonna run through a bunch of that stuff real quick, and then we'll do a overview. This puppy is all plumbed in. We got our intake water, our outlet water, condensation line, the brace, and then I got the gas on. The last thing to do is just get it plugged into 110 power. It's just got a regular plug on it. But before I do that, I wanted to show you all the inside of this machine. Pretty simple, you know, you're coming in right here, and then it comes up into the heat exchanger. You've got exhaust and intake, so here's your intake fan. And then that buffer tank I was telling y'all about is this guy back here. There's kind of some insulation wrapped around it, and that drops down. And then this is important. This is the bypass valve for the recirculation. So I'm gonna leave it in its current position until I do a recirculation loop on this. But yeah, that's it. That's just a quick little tour inside. Now, time to get this thing running. So I'm gonna turn on the gas valve, and then I'm gonna turn on the cold water and hot water, and we're ready to go. Okay, I fired it up, and I got this sink running all the way on hot. And with this temp gun, you can see we're about 104 degrees, which is perfect because I have it set over here at 105 degrees. Then on the incoming side over here, you can see it reads about 55 degrees, 57. And on the outgoing side, we're definitely heating it up. That's perfect. And then over here, you can see the condensate. It's been dripping out of there. That's been dripping. Everything's been running fine. I can even hear the fan up there running, pulling air in. But the real question is it gonna keep up with this guy? That's about a 5-gallon buffer tank that stores the water. You can see there's a heat throb in there, so it does maintain it warm. But then that feeds 4 high pressure pumps that each run about 1200 PSI. So we're gonna give that the test now. Once I turn this on, you guys are not gonna be able to hear me because these pumps are super loud. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip all of them on, and then I'm gonna run like a 2-minute time lapse of the water level inside of here, just so y'all can see if it's doing its job or not. So let's go. guys saw that. It works and it keeps up, which I'm super happy about. All 4 bays were running for like 5 minutes and it didn't get below 3/4 the way. So right here, it's time to start advertising. Hot water cleans better. Wash here. Now it's time for tacos, guys. With that, I'm gonna check out and we'll see you in the next fixer-upper, whatever video it ends up being. See ya.